40-30.
Connors, 13 years the elder. Rostango, who grew up in Southern California. Nice little off-pace effort from Connors.
Deuce.
Jimmy's 101st Wimbledon match. #1 in the men's ranking, but 4th overall. 3 women have played more here at the Big W.
Advantage Rostango.
This is where it all began for James Scott Connors. 1972, came right out in center court to play 8th-seeded Bob Hewitt and won.
Nice touch volley. It's 4-all. There have been no break points in this opening set. Now Connors to serve.
4 games all, first set.
Connors leading 3-1 head-to-head. Played Rostango on grass here and won in 5 sets a couple of years ago.
And Rostango had a match point.
15-1.
That was over on court 1. He hit a net cord ball that dropped out of Jimmy's reach to take him to match point, but couldn't connect.
Both of these men must have been delighted at that upset result yesterday when Nick Brown of England shocked us all with the win over Goran Ivanisevic, because that opened up matters, the avenue for these men, because the winner today will meet the winner then of Brown Champion, and both would have to figure they would be solid favorites in that matchup. Second double fault for Connors.
Jimmy really got a break from Aaron Crickstein yesterday, going straight sets. Aaron didn't try much of anything. Seemed to have almost a death wish out there. Not that he wasn't trying, but he didn't mix it up, and Jimmy escaped in a relatively easy match. And that helps when you're going to be 39 in September.
And playing 3 straight days. And that wait of 4 straight may have been worse than the 3 when you do play. 40-15.
He was gathering his strength. 4-day rest, not bad.
He's had a great summer, hasn't he? The French Open and all the adulation and that typical Connors fighting effort against Michael Chang at Roland Garros. His ears
40-30.
have heard a lot of great cheers. Paris, certainly one of the heroes emerging. And continuing here at Wimbledon.
Game Connors.
5-4. Connors will return to center court Wimbledon after this. Jimmy Connors, symbolizing tennis talent and longevity and fight, and I guess this graphic underlines that point. The combination has brought Martina Navratilova to a tie with Chris Evert, 111 matches with her match today. One ahead is the great Billie Jean King, and Connors leads all men with 101 matches, and in victories the same foursome. Martina 101, 5 more than Chris, 6 more than Billie Jean, and Connors leads all the men with 84. Rostango serves. 4-5 in the first.
15 love.
This guy, Rostango, is a troublemaker, beating McEnroe in the first round last year. 2 years ago at the U.S. Open, match points against Boris Becker, who eventually won the championship and had terrible luck on a net court ball.
It's interesting, Bud. Connors, when he came out, brought an extra racket with him.
Now that was, although Jimmy didn't make the point, that leaping backhand service return has become so familiar to Connors watchers, and he stole so many potential aces.
40
Not
love.
that one, but so many potential aces from Ivan Lendl in the 1982 and 1983 U.S. Open finals with that leaping return.
First ace for Rostango today. And at love,
Game Rostango.
Rostango holds 5-all. We started to say there's an extra racket. There goes Connors now.
5 games all, first set.
He brought out 2 rackets, leaned one along that umpire's or that linesperson's chair, and apparently using 1 racket to serve, another racket to receive.
I think he may want a little lighter racket to receive with. We'll have to ask him about that to get it moving a little quicker. That's been tried from time to time by players. First player I saw do that was Gene Scott. That's in the days of wooden rackets.
Love 15.
And Jim has always had that sensitivity to the weight of the racket, the balance of the racket, using lead tape. Any little edge that he might be able to find to help his game. Oh, 2 great returns.
Around the post.
Love 30.
Now this will endanger the net judge, Viola Fortescue Jones. And talk about extending yourself to make a backhand return. Sky
He
hook.
tipped it to Connors, who was in anyway. And with it, 3 breakers. These are the first break points of the set.
The sky hook. But the sky was
please.
too high.
Correction. Ball's good.
He's on the
15,
line.
40.
You could see a puff of powder, and there is an overrule.
Umpire David Littlefield says correction.
I don't know if you realize, but I didn't think you were talking about it. Just sit there. I don't see how you know there is any. It wasn't even close.
David Littlefield from the United States.
It's a judgment call by David Littlefield. Rostango saying, I didn't try to hit it, the ball was wide, but the umpire's judgment is that the ball was good and Rostango had no chance, so it goes as an ace.
Thirty, 40.
2 denials. And another chance for Rostango to take the lead.
Ooh. Service winner.
Deuce.
So he's bailed out of love 40. And hits another line. Rostango can't believe it. One he didn't like the call, and the other, 3 straight lines hit.
He suddenly finds himself up against a big server. He had never thought of Jimmy that way. An ace and 2 serve.
No sympathy from this center court crowd. Obviously, they favor Connors.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Connors saves serve from below 40. It's 6-5 in the first. Georgia Kendrick with Bud Collins, John Tesh, Tracy Austin there, the man with 2 rackets. He's tough enough with 1, I'd say. 1 to return and 1 to serve. We'll have to get the inside information from Jimmy Connors after the match, as he'll join us either with John Tesh, or he said he would come up and do a Pat Cash and jump into the booth with us.
These customers in front of us would love that.
15 love.
This is a dream day for the people on center court. Wouldn't have any idea how many are here for the first time, but I bet it would be over 70%.
Well, Connors said win or lose, he
30 love.
would join us.
Rostango was very deft. This is known as the fall-away forehand.
30-15.
Sit, Jimmy.
First knockdown for Connors today. Lost his footing there.
Oh.
$40-15.
But on every replay, as we talked about it yesterday, the thing about Connors, watch those quick feet constantly. Short steps, gets himself in position.
Game
Good.
is Spaniel.
We have a tie break in this first set.
6 games all. First set. Tiebreak.
Meanwhile, we can report over in Court 1, John McEnroe won the first set 6-2. Is a point away from a 5-3 lead in the second set.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
First to 7 by 2. Connors opens.
Now, what's wrong?
Uh-oh, and Connors is hurt. He is in some
20-0,
pain.
Connors.
May be able to walk it out.
Sensational effort.
Now, Rostango will set up a beautifully stroked dropper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps for Jimmy, but did he catch his foot on the turf?
Appeared to be that right foot caught as he was trying to slide.
1 all.
Had the opening.
Let's see what happened to Jimmy here. Slipped with his right foot, lost his balance. I tend to think he'll be all right.
Turned that ankle just a bit, didn't roll it over. And obviously okay, showed no signs of it bothering him on that last point. So weighted jury for Rostango here at center court today. Don't mean to imply the linesmen are giving Connors anything, but in terms of the spectators that look on, they are so sympathetic to Connors' hopes and play that Rostango won't get many votes.
Rostango.
So the mini break to Rostango for a 3-1 lead.
Doing a lot of running. Pulled in by a dropper.
4-1, Rostango.
You can see the strain there and a half-volleyed lob, which Connors can't clear the net with.
Well, that didn't help any of that ankle that he turned a bit just a couple of moments ago. Rostango now in the lead, 4 points to 1.
5-1, Rostango.
He's going to go to the other racket now as they change ends. Oh, that's right. He just wants to take all the munitions with him.
This was the scene of the most momentous tiebreaker of his Wimbledon career, trailing John McEnroe, 4th set, 4 points to 1 in the tiebreaker. He won it, 1982, and then went on to win the title in the 5th set.
So
5-2.
Mini break taken back by Connors, but he still trails 5 points to 2. A handful of set points now for Derrick Rostango.
So Derrick has hit a few net cords against Jimmy in their last Wimbledon meetings.
Double
Game in
fault,
first
and
set,
perhaps
Rostango,
that
double
ankle.
game.
He's putting the weight on that front foot as he serves, and Connors' third double fault. Rostango takes the first set tiebreaker, 7 points to 4. Meanwhile, here we are back on center court. Jimmy Connors in the second set lost the first set tiebreaker to Derrick Rostango and trails 4-1 here in the second, and has been limping noticeably. 15 all.
And Rostango, no dummy, has been drop-shotting Jimmy, jerking him around. Rostango having a good tournament, beating the U.S. Open champion, Pete Sampras, yesterday. In 4 sets.
Quite Quinella took out McEnroe last year, trying to defeat Connors today.
3 champions in 2 years. That is a great feat for Derrick Rostango. He's unflinching, but he's probably gone about as far as he can. Although I've made many mistakes in writing off Jimmy Connors over the years.
It's almost if you say it, Bud, he'll hear you and do something about it.
He likes to hear that. He loves to hear people say he's going to retire. He's a little better about it in press conferences. When somebody would say, "When do you think your career will end, Jimmy?" Ooh, what a look you'd get. And he'd say, "Next question."
They'll have to surgically remove that racket from him. Rostango had asked the chair umpire, Richard, Mr. Armstrong, rather, David Littlefield. We've been jumping around so much, can't get my chair umpires right.
You got it this time, Littlefield.
Ask him to stop the flash photography that had been bothering him. And has a break point now.
Advantage Rostango.
Rostango 1 of 5 in previous break opportunities. Another here to go up 5-1.
Game Rostango.
Well done. And Rostango is from a musical background. His father, Juan, plays for the L.A. Philharmonic, is playing some music on Connors today.
Jimmy is trying to shorten the points, come up whenever he can, but Rostango and Sampras both grew up playing at the Rolling Hills Tennis Club of Jack Kramer, as did Tracy Austin. But Rostango, 6 years older than Sampras, and didn't play against Pete, but his father, Juan, did. And Rostango said that
First service.
Net cord, and of course the official using the mechanical device, and none of the players seem to like it.
Edgar Fortescue Williams, and it just isn't as good as the human hand. God didn't make electronic devices. He will press this to activate the net, but I am not a person of the machine age. I think they ought to throw out all these things. Beauty! to finish that story, Derrick said that his father beat Sampras the last time they played. That was a few years ago, of course.
Still something left in the Master.
There's a lot left. I'm really convinced that he wants to play till about 44, 45. Body willing. The spirit is.
You see Connors unable to push off that right foot.
15 all.
Not that he could have gotten to that one anyway.
So he just can't move up very well when he's pulled up and try to get up on his own.
Just wide, 30-15. After beating McEnroe last year, Rostango advanced to the third round where Goran Ivanisevic took him out. Ivanisevic shocked yesterday by Nick Brown of Great Britain.
5-9-1. They say that's the most lopsided upset in the history of the computer.
591st in the world. Hadn't won a match all year until Wimbledon. And beats Ivanisevic, a seeded player, and one that many felt had a chance to go, as he did last year, all the way to the Final Four. However, today against Thierry Champion of France, he's down 2-1, and Champion leads 4-1 in the fourth against Brown. Champion himself fashioned quite a match in excusing ex-Wimbledon champion Pat Cash yesterday in 5 dramatic sets.
Game.
Second set to Derrick Rostango, and he now is on cruise control. 7-6, 6-1. Jimmy Connors trying to will Connors, these fans. He's gimpy but game, but they want the veteran to come back from 2 sets down. It's 1-3, 30 all. Connors able to move better on that slightly sprained ankle side to side than he is front to back, and these fans are having a day of their lives. They'll talk about this to their grandchildren, of course, here to cheer the amazing 38-year-old Jimmy Connors, who may be too far down, but nevertheless he's going to play it out and give them every last quid, every shilling. 40-30.
Game.
Connors holds. He's down 2 sets, down a break, but there's always hope. 3-2 Rostango in the third. And it has begun to rain here at Wimbledon for the first time during the course of the day's play. Actually, it's quite fitting, isn't it? Because these fans are here because of the first week's rain, the deluge that washed out so many matches, and so that has given them this opportunity to see play, and now they get a chance to see what most of the fans the first 5 days of the championship did. And they're going to cover the courts. There's Alan Mills, Ken Farrar, and indication is there. No, I guess he. No, now he is saying yes. He says, "Come on, put on the tarp."
Play suspended.
So on this first ever mid-Sunday play at Wimbledon, and it's 105 historic years. Jimmy Connors gets the hand. He's not going to wait for Rostango as he walks off. So, while we have this moment, we understand it's not a serious rain, just a shower, but that'll give us a chance to go to John Tesh. He'll bring us up to date on all the scores of the day.
Thanks, Dick. I had this gig figured out now. It rains and I go to work. Lots of